let the ending play out in full after the next run. It's like 15 minutes or so, otherwise I'd have just played it there. So, probably say now my biggest time saves are in the third world, St. L's. Yes, Wordman. Yeah, I usually like to do 2 runs back to back since it's short enough. First one's usually a good warm-up. Thank you. Already off to a decent start in that I got a large gem drop from one of the goblins in the first room. Helps me save a bit. Ooh, nice. Getting better gem luck helps me speed up this fight here by killing these goblins. Second set early. Have a good night, Pierre Star. Thanks for stopping by. A lot of parts of the game, a lot of the challenge for the speedrun also comes from trying to kind of deal with 2 different sets of, or 2 different monster lures at the same time. Well, if you're talking about randomness, it's gem drops. There aren't a lot of monsters in this game that have RNG in their movement. A lot of them can be manipulated pretty easily based on just where you are. Then after releasing the Water Mill Keeper here is the first of many intentional deaths I'm going to be taking. When you die in this game, you get sent back to town without losing any progress in the game. You do lose any gems that you have, gems just being ammunition for your spells. There's many places where taking an intentional death cuts out backtracking. So sometimes that does need to be weighed against the cost of losing your gems. some time there. It's a fairly short and simple action RPG, but I do like that it has some decently technical routing and execution behind it that's not really present when you play this game casually. I had to go back to town in order to basically power up this elevator to keep going in. Scared of taking too much damage from those torches. Every time I release a soul, I do get a little bit of health back relative to, actually I do not know if the amount of health I get is based on what level I am or what world I'm in. But either way, it kind of gradually goes up. I get. Snipe a couple of the shooter goblins there. Just on however many gems I have. Take a little intentional damage there too to make this next death warp a little faster. But it's always kind of a fine line between saving time and putting yourself in unnecessary danger. Time you talk to a sleeping NPC in this game, you can actually enter their dreams using this item called the Dream Rod I found in the first dungeon. People in this world have kind of boring dreams, though. They tend to mostly dream about dungeon areas in the same world. Come back and listen to my story? No thanks. We're speedrunning here. Last trip into the underground castle to get Theo's brush, which I need in order to enter painting. Yeah. Ugh, ugh, ugh. be a party, so. There's a lot of shared sound effects and art assets between this and ActRaiser. I'm just trying to really not take unnecessary damage in the torch room though, just because if I get down to 2 health, I'm dead. I don't know how to get through an upcoming room without taking a hit. Yeah, I'll point it out when I do it. It's near the it's very near the start, basically right when I start poking him. I line it up so that I get it so that he starts swinging at me, but then I step to the left side of the conveyor belt, and then he follows me. So that gives me maybe like a second or so of extra time where he's not swinging at me, and I get free hits in. That gives me a pretty comfy buffer for being able to kill him before he kills me. Right there, I have no clue how to get past that guy fast without taking a hit. I have 2 health, though. There's a sidestep there. So, yeah, so I find that doing that sidestep, yeah, it just gives me enough kind of extra frames of buffer room for not having my sword in contact with him, that it's a pretty safe fight with that strat. Yeah, I guess I've never thought about that, but definitely have a point. I'm back. I am back. I am back. Yeah. And then that dramatic pause to make sure you're fully aware of the weighty implications of him being back. Still gonna do my safety fire lizard kills in the marsh. Got away. Boo. Just trying to kill those bush roots, as I call them, on the other side. I have to wait for them all to load once I actually get over there, but I think I ended up just wasting some time. Bottom layer I need to dispose of efficiently. Bush roots are obnoxious because they're invincible while they're attacking you. Yeah, so are the lizards in this world. So this layer isn't actually required to progress the story, but one of two layers that lets me get an item called the Ice Armor, which is a really nice safety item, both for the final part of this world, but also for World 5, Leo's Lab. In addition to extra defense, it also lets you walk on certain types of heated tiles without taking damage, which is a really nice safety in Leo's Lab. Hopping in there to get a health refill. Got my health too much right here just because I'm gonna get a level up soon. Like there. Usual warning, no apologies for how unearthly chill this music is. Yeah, nice little cameo by the Moon Tribe from Illusion of Gaia. They'd probably be considered bigger jerks in this game if the teleporting lizards were a thing. Yeah, the Metal Scorpions, you need the Zentetsu Sword from World 5 or the Soul Blade from World 7 to damage. I forget what exactly you get from actually killing that set of them, but it's not something required for progression. This isn't strictly required, but it pays for itself many, many times over as far as getting the Light Arrow spell here, which is the best spell in the game. Medical Orb equipped, though I don't want to use it, at least until I get to the third bridge. Yeah, you get a bell that makes all of your spells cost 0 gems if you, if you get all, I think, 8 Master's Emblems. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if one of those emblems is unlocked by actually killing the Metal Scorpions and the big Fire Shrine. Beta cycle on this one. Should be in good shape now, though. Next to the Fire Shrine. Pretty sure I only found the all of the Master's Emblems as a kid because of Nintendo Power or the manual for the game or something. The only reason I found all 50 red gems in Illusion of Gaia was because of being a full guide in the manual. Not a terrible World 2 so far by my standards. Then I guess the little mishap with trying to re-kill the bush roots guarding the warp tile. Pay respects to Turbo. This is the Soul of Light, which is very much optional, but the only time lost for getting it is this text. And if you're like me and don't know your way around the Light Shrine basement that well yet, I think that text is a worthy exchange compared to bonking around in the dark. Heading to get the ice armor. Which is the biggest safety detour I take in my route. It's going to give me some extra defense for the last part of this world, and more importantly, let me walk over heated tiles without damage in Leo's lab. Health management is so big in this run, though, just because there's no hit stun or knockback for you. So the only real incentive to avoid damage is just not wanting to die, not planning on it. Really see the power of the light arrow spell in action. I've aggroed all of these enemies, we set up the shooting gallery. At least an attempt here at doing some subtle spawn manipulation off screen with the next set of teleporting lizards. A half calf. Alright, much better Light Shrine first floor than the last run. Walk right into the sun. Gems are MP for casting spells. The only purpose. coming up on the lion head statues, which is basically the hardest boss in the game. Low level, at least. Invenerable, if you're still around, I'll show you the safe strats I came up with for the second and third heads. The way I do the water head is by waking it up and then going to stand on this red tile right here, and then basically just bait it to loop around me like this, and then just swing until it's dead. The optimal strat I just can't do because of how finicky it is with controlling its movement. The fire head, I just stand here. It's gonna hit me twice, but now it's looping around, and I just keep swinging until it's dead. Ooh, nice gold, too. Yeah, I know RPG Chick said she's started using that strat and likes it. I mean, the main reason it's slower than the optimal strat is because, I mean, the optimal strats, you're kind of following the statues around and your sword is never not poking them, but those strats, they're a lot more finicky as far as manipulating their AI, and if they break out of the loop, then you die, pretty much guaranteed. They just stomp you and you die. Nah, I'm just doing this right now. This way. Yeah, I'm taking a bit of a break from Free Enterprise at the moment after playing a lot of it the past couple months. The past couple weeks I've been focusing on this and haven't totally decided what's next. It'll at least somewhat depend on if Chrono Trigger gets into Summer Games done quick. Might still do more runs of it even if it doesn't get in, because I do want to improve my times at a couple categories. Let's see though. I do want to improve my time at Vanilla FF4 later this year too. It's been about 4 years since I've worked on that. It's definitely time with new strats that have been found. Nah, Chrono Trigger was the only thing I really had that I felt was worth submitting. Rivers says that, but that implies that actually finishing a run with the Rosa route is it's free. I haven't actually tried to do so yet, but I made some save states for the Rosa route a couple months ago, and some of those final bosses are pretty difficult strats. I think I set my current No 64 PB in late 2015, and I've never been fond of it because of losing 2 minutes in the giant from between having kind of a suboptimal grind fight and then failing the Fiend's fight skip. World 3, St. L's, is the longest world in the game. Just a lot of different areas I have to go to and for a bit of backtracking. Yeah, what Amazing Toaster said. They're very loosely connected, more kind of thematically than with story and characters and stuff. I do view the final boss of all 3 games as being the same entity, though. Illusion of Gaia was actually one of my very first speed games back in 2011, too. Still kind of moved on, though, to other stuff. Swag shot there. Part of why the light arrow spell is the best spell in the game. It's not only does it do really good damage, but it shoots in 4 ways and can multi-hit. Strange bottle here to let me take a death without losing my gems. This is probably the most difficult part of World 3 is Durian Island. I'm going to be skipping a soul upgrade that despawns falling rocks. along with skipping a story item called the Mermaid Tears that lets me cool down the lava. Oh, did those statues signify fetch quests or something in the randomizer? I've never played it myself, but there is a randomizer for this game. Like a lot of games, I believe has gotten more popular than the vanilla game. Coming up on a level, but I do need to watch my health. Just in case. Yeah, the soul in this world despawns the falling rocks. I need to go down there. Much better Durian Island than the last run. Primarily due to actually having gems because of using the strange bottle on Rockbird Island. Yeah, that just by health management and use of a medical herb, I was able to skip having to climb all the way to the top of the volcano and use an item called the Mermaid's Tears to cool down the lava. It's not a bad idea to do if you're new to the game. Get a pretty cool item that sadly is only used once, the Thunder Ring. Terranigma is a decent speedrun. I mean, the main issues that I think it has as a speed game is just that it's got a lot of RNG for about a 4-ish hour run. RNG-based grinding segment about an hour in that kills most people's runs. And another issue, kind of, well, I guess, quote-unquote issue with Terranigma too, is just that it was never released in North America. And a big part of why a lot of people speedrun older games is nostalgia for playing them as a child, and no Americans or Canadians really played Terranigma when it was new. Yeah, I mean, even though most Terranigma speedrunners are from Germany, they basically all run the Japanese version of the game because it's 60 frames a second. Yes, it is Coder Dan. It's like Quintet is the name of the developers that made this in ActRaiser. Still on pace for a gold World 3 if I don't die to the boss. You can actually pre-equip items that you don't have yet, but only items. You can't do it with weapons, armor, or magic. Yeah, some angel this guy is, if you can get done in by a stray bubble. Time to pick up one of the most OP items in the game relative to when you can get it, which is the power bracelet. Just flat out doubles your attack power, both for swinging swords and also poking with them. Maybe this isn't quite gold pace, but it should be close, if not. Assuming no boss issues. recycle. Still a gold though. Keep the gold train going. And have a good night, Sora Noise. Thanks for stopping by. Like with the shrines in World 2, no apologies for the unnaturally chill music here. It's nice to have for an upcoming fight. Snowballs you can only actually kill at this point by making them run into walls or rocks. Magic armor, in addition to better defense, also halves the jump cost per spell. Careful around these deer or whatever they are here, which are pretty... I'm back! I'm back! Hooray. There was much rejoicing. In this case, I want to take advantage of one of these jewel ferries here to actually just warp back to town instead of take a death warp. That's mostly to preserve gems. Snail goo shoots. Tass isn't able to skip having to get the mushroom shoots. Circling bats are a little obnoxious, and you may notice that most of the combat I'm doing in this world is with magic, and that's both because of having the magic armor, which has jump costs, but also just because my sword is really outdated at this point. Teleporting wizards here I do not want to get too close to, because if you aggro them, they teleport and are invincible while doing so. I can't actually swing the Lucky Blade yet. I can equip it to get its passive bonus, which increases the drop rate for larger gems. It's also actually required to get to the next part of the mountain. You need the mushroom shoes too? That's interesting, given that I would expect you can't actually get there without the mushroom shoes. Or you need the mushroom shoes to release him in the first place. Yeah. I know that's one appeal of the randomizer over the normal game speedrun is that the randomizer often makes you use more magic than just light arrows. I don't actually remember what my favorite spell was as a kid. Getting pretty far ahead of myself, actually. It's the snail yet. That'd be an amazing toaster question, because I haven't actually played Rando Blazer yet. I do think 3+ hours is a bit on the long side for a randomizer. Kind of like sub 2 hours. Okay, there's the snail. Yeah, I was spaced out and getting ahead of myself. I can say get owned pretty badly by the upcoming fights. I think I should be good to skip the warp tile this time. Leveling up lets you actually swing more powerful swords. Each sword has a level requirement. Well, and it also gives you more health, which is also very important. Actually, you know what? If I release the Dancing Grandmas now, then I'll be perfectly good on health for the books. Big Swamp Chaos. That's, yeah, I've seen High Spirits do Swamp Mode a few times in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, and that looks hellacious. Good evening, Rivers. It's gold split too. Rain keeps it rolling. I was with that flub with going for talk to the snail before I actually released him too. Bell Rivers, that's actually pretty much every boss in this game except for the final boss. Because you don't do more damage to bosses by swinging your sword versus poking. So poking lets you just do continual damage per frame, basically. That one is pretty laughable too if you actually know how wonky the hitboxes for its fireballs are, and you can just stand there and they'll fly away before touching you. The first 3 bosses are the only really hard ones, in my opinion. Seems like I have to do this at least once. But you're just in time for the workshop song. Ooh. Now is where the difficulty spike happens. Poking these enemies with the sword that I'm underleveled for is way harder than being level 16 and able to swing the sword. This is where having the ice armor really helps a lot, because I can just walk over these hot floors without taking damage. Otherwise, the margin for error is pretty much non-existent as far as management. Yeah, if you're going for like a sub 140, you have to skip the ice armor. Let's just do this now. Like I said, I mean, if you skip the ice armor, then the route for this place is just built around using the HP refill from a level up plus a medical herb in order to just have enough health to get past the heated floors alive. So the helicopters is not required for progression, but last time I tried to skip them, I died because of the helicopters just wrecking my face when I was trying to do it instead of actually required. Actually, you get the deeper into the game you get, the more experience monsters are worth, and because like the first goblins you fight are 1 experience, and then there's an enemy in the final area that's worth 4,000. Kind of a wacky experience curve. Because like when I need to grind in order to beat the final boss, I need to get about 200,000 XP, and that takes like 1 minute or so because of how fast or how much experience the tumbling blocks in the last world are worth. Yeah, you get to level 22 naturally, and then you have to grind to level 24. I don't mind the grind as much as I kind of mind the backtrack in order to get the Phoenix. I find that kind of slows down the pace a little too much in the endgame. But it's like 5-ish minutes, if that, though. It's not that bad. I mean, when I first learned this run for the first Ever Hate Memorial race, I grinded to level 16 in the basement to just be able to swing the Zentetsu sword and then trivialize the helicopter fights. It's really slow, but less really slow than dying multiple times trying to do the optimal road. This is also where we learned that steps have souls along with doors and houseplants and stuff. Model Town 2 way shorter than the first one. Only one required layer here. It's a bit of a doozy too, with 6 invisible catapults. I skipped the soul that lets me see invisible enemies here. Alright, much better than last run. Oh yeah, I'm sure actually like having 2 different sprite layers active at the same time is probably very laggy. Thinking I need to go down there. Remember those scary helicopters? Well, when I can actually swing the Zentetsu sword, they die in 2 hits. Might be able to go to gold here. This is a very fast boss. Alright. Nice. It's gonna be a 7 golds run. I think the hardest world for me to gold is probably gonna be 7 at this point. Little preview of Mamarana from Robotrek there. The doll. Minor glitch there by switching the sword while I'm in the middle of swinging. We actually get one free swing of the Spirit Sword without being the right level. There is a soul upgrade you can get here to actually see the invisible chests and passages here. Oops, let's wait. Hey, Uber bosses, doing pretty good. Just got a PB about an hour and a half ago and trying to do it rinse and repeat. What is a PB? A personal best. So I've completed this speedrun faster than I ever have before. No, not even close. The record is like 135 something. I only really casually speedrun this game once a year for the annual Everhate tribute race. Yeah, if I can get around to like a 150 before I put this game down for the year, I'll be pleased. I think the most ambitious time I could ever see myself trying to go for is around like 145. Something like Lisa. Gee, I wonder what her name could be. We'll be hearing some more of this music in 5 minutes during the ending. Strange bottle. Realized go through. Wondering why I didn't have any gems. More damage than I'd have liked to take, but getting level 19 relatively soon. Yeah, PB means how long this segment took in my fastest completed run to date, and then best is the fastest I've ever done this segment in a run. The fact that they're the same means that I'm up against what's called a gold split. Fastest segment time. But again, given that I don't really run this game super often or super seriously, my golds aren't quite as optimized as they would be in a game like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI that I run a lot more. What's it got in its pockets? It's paranoid that I either don't have my armor on or have the wrong armor on. Not the smoothest set of fights in that room, but I have to blow my medical herb early. I don't really need to do maintenance on my controllers that often. Like on my favorite controller, if the buttons don't feel as responsive as they should be, I'll unscrew the cover and then clean off the contacts on the circuit board underneath with a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol, but that's legit. I'd like to think that I'm kind of gentle enough with my controllers that that's not too big of an issue. Okay. That would have been a pretty bad place to die. Right before the checkpoint. It's probably the most popular SNES Turbo controller. I have one that I use when I play Japanese games for speedrunning. English games, I just use a controller like this though. And the ASCII controller feels a little heavier to me just because it's a little thicker. Not like uncomfortably so, but I do notice a difference when I lift it up. Yeah, having some variation on the ending, depending on how you interact with Lisa, would be pretty cool. Kind of like the little subtle touches that Chrono Trigger's main ending has, based on little things like saving or not saving Luca's mom. And gold this time, though. Probably mostly because of forgetting to strange bottle out of the dungeon, so I have gems for the last tower. That was the same RNG I got on RPG Jerkbird. Yeah, love between an angel dude and a human girl that he just met like 80 minutes ago. Do this now to make sure I don't forget. Getting to get the super bracelet is bad news bears. Super bracelet double attack power like the power bracelet, but also double defense like an item I skipped called the shield bracelet does. Yeah, I mean you talk to her in Grass Valley and that's it. I don't think there's any even optional interactions with her between there and here. I don't know, I find that SNES controllers last pretty much forever if you're not too rough with them, as far as like mashing the buttons super hard. And like every couple years, cleaning out the connections with rubbing alcohol helps. Hey, Cheshire Cat. We've been talking a lot about Quintet, the developer for this game, during this stream. This space background here is in basically every one of their games in some form or another. Hey, Lusk. Like how kind of chill and upbeat this song is for being the evil world. Zombie Evil World, this is too only 3 screens. I want my money back. We're at the final boss now, but in order to actually fight it, I have to do a little backtrack segment in order to get the Phoenix. Thanks for the host, Silver Star. I've never actually tried it, but I'm pretty sure you can fight Deathtoll without Phoenix, and then you just you have to either let him kill you or reset because you can't damage him. Yeah, there's a 100% category for this that I think is like all collectible items and all monster lairs. I have zero interest in it. Hey, Miria. Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, his palace doesn't actually appear until you get the Phoenix. That is correct. Yeah, that bird is very much a jerk, given that you have to chase it around. Could maybe be a 152 if my Lost World is solid enough. You should finish it, Rykor. It's not a very long game. Like a casual playthrough should only be like 10-ish hours, I'd say. Yeah, do not rush, but we're speedrunning though. Carts of this game are unfortunately a bit on the pricey side. 50, 60 bucks or so. So 70, ouch. And I paid maybe like 40-ish, 30 to 40 for mine, but this was like 5 years ago. Sing Gramps. Yeah, that is a good point, Maria. Like, I think my Dragon Warrior 4 NES card was like 80 bucks or so new in like 1992 dollars. Right on the top. Grinding to level 24 so that I can actually swing the Soul Blade, which is required to do Phoenix Magic for the final boss. Yeah, doing pretty good. Runs of Provo. Yeah, I'm probably going to pass on doing the opening race again, but I'm definitely planning to do the Forge Out Fiesta. Decided which mode will be. Teleport pattern there, buddy. Recycle is shame. Yeah, you should. It's a lot of fun. If you've never, I mean, if you're not super familiar with FF5, I would recommend using guides and stuff just to know where stuff is, but Alright, nice. I think that was a 152.52 probably. Alright, nice. About a little over 5 minutes worth of PBs in one night. And only Magridd Castle wasn't a gold split in this run, too. Gladly take that. No, I actually didn't submit any runs to Limit Break this year, just because the games I'm strongest at were both in last year. Submitted Chrono Trigger Glitchless to SGDQ, though. Don't think it's like a super slam dunk or anything, but figured why not, give it a try. This time we will watch the full ending. Yeah, I think the main reason I missed gold on World 6 was that I forgot to Strange Bottle when I death warped out of the basement for the last time. And I didn't have gems for the towers. Oh, is that when the games list is getting posted? I know it's sometime within the coming week. Yeah, nice. I mean, that's still like, well, it's like that's 15 minutes slower than a top level time at this game, which would be just sub 140. But I'd say it's not bad for not really having done like a ton of grinding or like focused IL practice. Oh, when Reg opens, okay. If anybody's not aware why I'm running this game right now, it's to get ready for an annual tribute race we do for a member of the community named Everhate, who passed away about 3 years ago from an illness, and he was one of the first speedrunners of this game, along with the NES Dragon Warriors and a few other games. Do an annual race of his favorite speed game in his honor every year around this time. Yeah, well, I hope not, Marielle, though that wouldn't surprise me too much. I mean, at least with GDQ, if you are materially involved with the event, as in like a runner or volunteer, then you're guaranteed a spot. Never been to BlizzCon though. I take it that's luck of the draw as far as like hitting the website the 5 minutes or so before the tickets sell out. I mean, I'm a pretty hefty nerd, but I don't really go to any kind of cons or anything other than speedrunning marathons. I went to Gen Con a couple times when I was in high school. It's an hour drive from where I grew up, but that's basically it, aside from you and Limit Break and stuff. Oh, really? Oh, okay, if that's being changed, that's news to me. Well, I hope it's not too big of a problem. Really? Going to Australia instead of locally. Ouch. Yeah, stuff like PAX or E3 kind of feels like stuff that I'd consider going to if I lived close by, but if when I have to fly halfway across the country and get a hotel and stuff, that nah, no thanks. And take time off work. If you mean for GDQ, the way they're doing it in 2 waves right now. The first wave sells out like within an hour typically. The second wave takes at least a week or so. Oh yeah, TwitchCon would be another thing that I'd probably go to if it was close by, but the West Coast is unfortunately pretty inconvenient for me to travel to, so wouldn't want to go just for a weekend. Oh, nice, T Murdoch. Yeah, I hope you have fun too. "15 minutes, okay. I still need. In fact, why don't I do it right now while I'm thinking about it, as far as updating my bot to actually have the schedule link. This game's so good. There's a really gorgeous Japanese vocal arrangement soundtrack CD too. You're close to a town called Grass Valley. Did you go there and meet a woman whose name you forgot, but it sounded something like Lisa? Hey, Palmer, thanks for the raid, sir. Unfortunately, I'm actually just about done for the night, but I do appreciate the thought. Oh, you're coming. Oh, that's right, you're coming this year. I'm glad to hear that, Maria. Out. Yeah, Soul Blazer got 2 PBs tonight too. 155 and 152. Pretty much my last real chance to do base practice for the race too. I can at least get like a sub 155 in the race, I'll be pretty happy. Well, I think Gyre has an RGB modded NES that he uses stream from, and he's definitely going since he has a run. Also, fun fact, in the Japanese version, Lisa has anime eyes in this picture, along with holding her hands in a prayer pose. Maybe someday. I'm more interested in the normal game right now, but maybe I'll play the randomizer at some point. Yeah, Adventures of Mana is really solid. I played that on PS TV after it got released here. I believe the guy running Adventures of Mana for Limit Break is actually going to be running it on an actual Vita, which is pretty unusual. Most people that stream Vita games use a PS TV, which is way easier than modding a Vita for video output. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done for the night. Majestic Pizza. It's a little after 2 in the morning where I live, so I'm gonna be calling it a night. Hopefully I'll be back this coming Wednesday, although I guess we'll see when SGDQ registration opens. I'd like to hit that first wave. Well, Mario RPG, like most SNES RPGs, isn't like a super long game. I did a casual playthrough of it on stream a couple years ago, and I mean, it was probably under 20 hours. That was with doing most of the side quests. Definitely a game I can recommend. You won't see me ever learn the speedrun for it, but there's just way too much in that run that just doesn't look fun to me, but I definitely highly recommend the game itself. Well, it's actually not the super jumps that kind of scare me away. It's the isometric platforming and lots of required mini games that affect your time in a big way. Oh yeah, I played it. I rented it a few times as a kid, and I played it on stream a few years ago after getting a cart. I've never played Grand Stream Saga, but I would assume it's not really connected. I mean, the Quintet's games on the Super Nintendo have pretty similar themes and general storylines, but they're not really directly connected to each other. I would assume Grand Stream Saga is the same deal.